Okay, so here we're back in the CSS file. What I'm doing here is that I'm changing the padding of all the H3 elements on the page so that they have 20 pixels of padding. And now we can see that the element now has 20 pixels of padding. So what it does is it gives it more space and it looks better, it gives it more space to breathe, and it's more professional. Okay, so now we go back into the sketch file. And let's see. We're going into the message to function. So here we're selecting the H3 element and we're applying the HTML function to it. And so what we're doing is the HTML function, again, changes the text inside the element. And here we're using string concatenation. So we're saying you have, and then we're adding it to the value of the first text box, and then we're adding that to the word and. And then we're getting the value of the second text box. And then we're adding that to a random element in the conditions array. And then from there, we're adding another sentence. We're adding, you need to see a, and then with that, we're adding a random element from the specialists array. Okay, so then we save and we refresh. Okay, so what's going on is inside the message to function, so whenever the user presses the tab or enter key, after entering something in the second text box, the message to function is called. And so what it does is it changes the text inside the header 3 element. Okay, so now we're going to look at string concatenation. Okay, so what happens is if we have the number 7 and we add it to the number 9, then 7 plus 9 is 16, and we're going to put 16 into the value variable. But if we have strings, if we have the string of 7 and the string of 9, right? So they're not numbers anymore, they're treated as text. So if we have two different strings that are added together, the plus sign won't treat them as numbers, it will concatenate them. So what will happen is the string of 7 plus the string of 9 will give us the string of 79, and so the string of 79 is what will go into the value variable. Okay, so here we have some more strings. So here we have an, and then we add it to awesome day with an exclamation point. So what's happening here is that it's concatenating the two parts of the sentence into have an awesome day. And so what's really important to note is that there's a space after the word an, right? So have an, and there's a space so that it gives some space between have an awesome day. There's space between those two words, basically, right? So between and between awesome. So if we didn't have the space, then the words would be squished together. Technically, we could put a space before the word awesome, but we don't have to do that. It doesn't really matter how we do it. But we don't want to put too many spaces or not enough space because we want it to look like just a regular sentence. And of course, everything's got to be in quotes. Okay, so here we're concatenating the words you have, and we're getting the value of the text box 1 variable. So basically, whatever the user puts into the first text box is what we're pulling out and putting into this sentence. So if they said me, for instance, then it would, the sentence would say, you have knee. So you have knee doesn't mean a lot on its own, but as part of a bigger sentence, it does mean something. And so here, we don't put quotes around the text box one.value, or else it would treat it as text and it would give us the sentence, you have text box one.value, which makes no sense, right? So it's a variable and with a command at the end of it, so that's why it doesn't have quotes around it. Okay, so here we have the full sentence and all the commands that we are using with the HTML command. So here we have you have plus the value of the text box one variable plus and plus the value of the text box two variable plus a random element from the conditions array plus you need to see a plus a random specialist from the specialist array. So what would happen is if the person put in knee and toe, for instance, it would say you have knee and toe. And so the conditions chosen could be gas, let's say, and one of the specialists chosen could be a dentist. So if those were chosen and those were what the user entered into the text boxes, it would give us the sentence, you have knee and toe gas, you need to see a dentist. Now, obviously, it doesn't make any sense, but that's the whole point. It's supposed to be ridiculous and funny and just a way for people to have fun with text, basically. Okay, so now we're back into the coding area. And so we're entering ear and kidney, and we see it says you have ear and kidney gas. So there's a few problems. First of all, there's no space between the words kidney, the word kidney and gas. So we're going to add some spaces to all the conditions in the conditions array so that the words don't squish with other words, basically, right? Like we want the words to have enough space so that they look good and they're legible. Okay, so now I'm entering throat and leg. And so here it says you have throat and leg gas, you need to see a specialist. There's another problem too. Both sentences are a little bit squished, so now I'm adding a space after, before actually, the word you. And so now if I save and refresh, it should be okay. So now I'm going to enter, let's see, ear and neck, and I press enter, and it says you have ear and neck ulcers, you need to see a specialist. And now I'm going to just enter some more body parts. Here I put in butt and face, and it says you have butt and face gas, you need to see a nurse, just to see if it's working, and it seems to be working properly, so that's good. And I'm just adding a semicolon to the statement. So now I want to change the style of the element whenever the user presses tab or enter after they enter the second body part, because I'm not too crazy about the yellow and purple style of the element. So I'm making the background color purple, and I'm making the text color yellow. So we'll see how that looks. So I'm going to save and then refresh. And so now it starts off yellow with purple text. But when I enter neck and chest and press enter, then it says you have neck and chest pain, you need to see a radiologist. And it looks good, right? Like it looks pretty good. I think I'm going to change the color a little later on, but it seems to be working at least. So that's good. Here I enter ear and toe, and it says you have ear and toe bloating. You need to see a dentist, which makes absolutely no sense. And that's the whole point. And I'm changing so first I'm changing the background color to a hot pink color, and then I'm changing the text color to white. And I'm saving and refreshing. And so we're going to test it out. So I'm putting in leg and neck, and it says you have leg and neck dryness. You need to see an X-ray technician. And then I put in toe and ear, and I press enter, and it says you have toe and ear ulcers. You need to see a doctor, right? So that's cool. Here we see that I'm using the style command to change the background color to hot pink and the text color to white whenever the user presses enter after entering something into the second text box. And that's it for now.